Thank you, Lynn. Now, Charlie, would you like to come up and give us a little art lecture?
That's the last thing I want to give you. Thank you, Laura, for having us here. Before I even move on to speaking more specifically about Bob's paintings, I think she's resisted me on this ever since we started this project, but I think we owe so much to Laura's, what's the right word, tenacity, vision, strength of purpose, the fact that you brought us this far and that the scholarship is at the point where it is right now is truly a testimony to your leadership. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we're all here, well, we're here for a couple of reasons. We're here for many reasons. Two main reasons maybe, though, might be Bob was an extraordinary person, as Lynn has just told us. He was also an extraordinary artist. If he hadn't left us with this legacy of the work, I think that, well, we wouldn't be here. His contributions to the School of Art as a teacher, we've heard a lot about that over the last few events. We've heard a little bit less about who he was, what his character was as an artist. And I've written about it in a couple of different situations, right? I have a little bit of an essay in the book in which I speak about Bob's dedication to, I think, I don't know what the right phrase might be, making people happy, leaving people with a sense of joy, the same joy that Bob took, I think, in being an athlete, that he took in being a coach, that he took in being a teacher. I think you find that embedded in the paintings. I've been telling people as I've been speaking about the work that I've never seen paintings where the heart is as much on the sleeve as it is with Bob's extraordinary pictures. The personality, the man, the magnanimity, the generosity, the athleticism, the grace are all present in the configuration of the paintings. So we could be talking a lot about, I suppose, the intellectual legacy, what sorts of movements Bob's paintings connect to. There's a kind of muscular, abstract, expressionist language in the paintings that Bob has kept alive. The scale of the paintings, the energy of the paintings all attaches to a kind of visionary American landscape painting. Maybe you know it if you've seen the Hudson River painters, or if you've visited museums and seen abstract expressionist pictures. You realize there's a kind of grandeur of spirit that the country's inspired, that many artists have channeled, and that Bob's a sort of inheritor of. He's an inheritor of this legacy. He gives it his own sort of particular inflection, I guess you would say, in terms of the color, in terms of the gesture, in terms of the materials. There's a uniqueness to what he does, but it does sit in a grand tradition of American painting that I guess we could look at it. We could look at it in terms of art history and sort of appreciate it from a distance, or we can think about the way that Bob touched people directly through the work and through the teaching while he was part of the School of Art. So getting to know Bob's paintings, I feel like as I've handled these paintings, as moved them from venue to venue and talked with Lynn and talked to others who knew the work, I feel like I'm now beginning to place the paintings in different sorts of periods, and I'm beginning to see the development of the work. It moves from a kind of I guess, I've seen some, and I remember some landscape paintings, some outright landscape paintings that Bob painted very early on in his career, and to watch how those paintings evolved from more literal interpretations of the situation around him to things that I guess you'd call a little bit more, looking for the right phrase, that you call a little bit more universal in spirit, not so tied to a specific location, not so tied to a specific place. It's really a wonderful thing to watch. What you can do as you look back over the course of an artist's life is see decisions that unfolded on a day-to-day basis in what might have seemed to the artist sort of like a haphazard fashion. When you look back, it all seems to have made sense. The decisions add up to a progress. They add up to a kind of inevitability. They take on a sort of inevitability. To the artist who's working in his studio every day, they have a kind of like contingency. They have a kind of, well, what if I try this? What if I do that? What if I throw this against that? What you see in a lot of Bob's paintings too is a real commitment to experimentation, a commitment to playfulness, a commitment to seeing, oh, what happens if I put this material against this material? What happens if I lay this color over the top of this color? They have this kind of force to them, this sort of force that I referred to earlier, sort of like a force of inevitability. But at the same time, I'm sure that what Bob's greatest pleasure in making the paintings was he didn't quite know how it would turn out when he began the painting. He didn't quite know what was going to happen. And we're all the beneficiaries right now of his willingness, I guess, to sort of test his limits, the same way that he must have as an athlete, the same way that he must have when he was wrestling with a difficult problem in the classroom. So thank you for allowing me to say a few words about Bob's paintings. I think the thought to end with is simply to enjoy, to take pleasure in what he's left us, and to feel the strength of his character and the strength of his presence as they're made manifest in the painting. So thank you very much.